Allie Davis is a fierce and talented sports agent working at Summit Worldwide Management, a top-tier agency that represents some of the biggest names in American athletics. With a razor-sharp instinct and unmatched drive, Allie has spent years crafting athletes' public images, landing them endorsement deals, magazine covers, and high-profile interviews. She's tough, smart, and she knows she's ready for the next step. This morning, she walks into work buzzing with anticipation. Her boss, Nick, is expected to announce a new partner at the firm, a prestigious promotion, and Allie is sure it's finally her time. She's outperformed her male colleagues at every turn, clawing her way to the top in an industry dominated by men. Confident and determined, she moves through her tightly packed schedule with the help of her loyal and spirited assistant, Brandon. On the way to the office, she steps into the elevator and meets her new neighbor, a handsome, mysterious man she instantly nicknames Captain Fine. There's chemistry, at least on her end, but he barely glances her way. His cold indifference stings, leaving Allie wondering what he's really thinking. If only she could hear the thoughts behind that perfect face. Arriving at Summit, Allie is greeted by the overwhelming testosterone-fueled atmosphere of the office. She joins her colleagues in the boardroom, awaiting Nick's big announcement. As they wait, the guys casually brag about their weekend conquests, crude, dismissive, and utterly comfortable in their boys' club. Allie shuts it down, reminding them that there's a poker night they're always joking about, a gathering she's never been invited to. When Nick finally walks in, the room falls silent. He announces that the new partner is Eddie. Allie is stunned. Eddie? The guy who's coasted through half the deals she's landed? She can't believe it. Nick pulls her aside afterward, acknowledging her hard work, but insisting that she just doesn't connect well with the male clients or colleagues, and that one of the other partners vetoed her promotion. Furious and hurt, Allie loses her composure. She storms out into the office and loudly declares that she was the one who signed Jamal Berry, the basketball prodigy who's about to become the firm's biggest client. She makes it clear that she's the real powerhouse behind Summit's success, and she's done being overlooked. That evening, she vents her rage in a boxing gym, sparring with her father, a charismatic, old-school boxing coach who's more concerned with grit and resilience than corporate politics. He offers fatherly wisdom between jabs, and afterward takes her out for dinner to cool down. At the restaurant, Allie's attention is caught by a charming bartender named Will. Their flirtation escalates quickly, and when the night ends, she finds herself in his apartment, aggressive, dominant, and unapologetically in control. She's not looking for love, just release. But the next morning, things take an awkward turn. Allie wakes up and comes face to face with Will's young son, who's playing with her underwear on his head. Mortified, she scrambles to gather her clothes and realizes she's late for work. As she rushes out, she also discovers something else. Will is married. Furious that he didn't mention his wife or his child, she bolts, leaving behind more questions than answers. Back at Summit, Allie rejoins her team, who are working on securing Jamal Berry. His father, Joe Dalla Berry, is a tough negotiator and wants his son on the cover of Sports Weekly alongside basketball legend Lisa Leslie, who just so happens to also be one of Allie's clients. But when Allie tries to pitch the idea, Lisa refuses. She doesn't want to share the spotlight with a rookie who hasn't earned his place yet. It's a professional blow, one that risks derailing the entire Jamal deal. Dalla growing impatient, Allie's chances of keeping the account and proving her worth begin to slip through her fingers. That night, Allie meets up with her best friend Olivia and their two close girlfriends, Mary and Ciara. The girls are celebrating Mary's upcoming wedding, and Olivia has something a little extra planned for the bachelorette party. She's booked a psychic named Sister for a fun and harmless fortune-telling session. Allie, still bitter about being passed over for promotion, rolls her eyes. This woo-woo stuff isn't her scene. But as Sister begins to speak, something shifts. With unnerving accuracy, the eccentric mystic describes Allie's frustrations at work, her struggle to break the glass ceiling in a boys' club world, and even mentions a mysterious man who has recently entered her life, someone she's subconsciously fixated on. Shocked by how spot-on Sister is, Allie leans in. That's when Sister offers her a special herbal tea, something to open her mind and help her realign with her path. Afterward, the women head to a club, dancing and drinking the night away. But Allie starts to feel strange. She blacks out on the dance floor and wakes up in a hospital the next morning with no memory of how she got there. Disoriented, she overhears a doctor mentioning a baby, which only adds to her confusion. Moments later, Brandon rushes in and takes her home. But during the drive, something surreal happens. Allie hears him talking, except his mouth isn't moving. He's trash-talking her inside his head, and she calls him out mid-thought. Brandon slams on the brakes. They realize almost in unison what's going on. Allie can hear men's thoughts. Literally. It's not just Brandon. As she walks through the office later that day, every male voice around her is in her head. Unfiltered, raw, often disgusting, or hilariously insecure. It's overwhelming. She's hearing things no woman was ever meant to hear. Desperate for answers, she returns to Sister for help. But the psychic calmly explains, the power isn't a curse. It's a gift. And if Allie plays it right, it could become her greatest advantage in a world ruled by men. Inspired by this idea, Allie returns to the office with a new strategy. She'll use her power to get ahead. It doesn't take long before she discovers something big, a secret poker night happening at Nick's house, the very one she was always excluded from. It turns out they're using it to court Jamal's father, Joe Dalla Barry, hoping to sway him toward their preferred agents. That night, Allie crashes the event. She arrives at Nick's house to find Joe, Kevin, and other agents seated around the table. She sits down, bets hard, and plays even harder. With the ability to read every bluff and fear around her, she dominates the table, but intentionally lets Joe win, earning his trust. Impressed, Joe invites her to a private meeting the next day. At the meeting, Nick brings Jamal to watch a flashy presentation featuring a rap-style hype video with models, cars, and Allie's face awkwardly photoshopped next to Jamal's. It's meant to show the kind of fame they can build, but it backfires. Both Joe and Jamal are unimpressed. It's all style, no substance. Reading their thoughts, Allie cuts in and says exactly what Joe is thinking. Disapproving, the whole video looks like a cheap 90s rap video. Her honesty lands. She pivots and delivers a compelling, heartfelt pitch about legacy, family, and representing something meaningful. Joe is moved and intrigued. They don't commit on the spot, but Allie knows she's back in the game. Later, Allie spots Will and his son Ben waiting in the lobby. The receptionist won't let them through. Sensing an opportunity, Allie walks out to greet them, loudly introducing them as her husband and child. Joe, witnessing the scene, smiles. He loves family-oriented athletes and figures if Allie is part of that kind of environment, maybe Jamal's future is safe with her too. After Joe and Jamal leave, quietly, Will privately explains he was just there to return the driver's license Allie left at his place. And he tells her the truth. He's not married. His wife passed away years ago, but he apologizes anyway. Feeling guilty for how she judged him, remorsefully, Allie apologizes too and invites both Will and Ben to the basketball game she promised Jamal. That evening, Kevin, still bitter about being overshadowed, confronts Allie at work. He's angry that she humiliated him in front of the biggest clients. But Allie doesn't back down. She calls out his cowardice, and Kevin finally admits the truth. He was the one who blocked her promotion. Allie stands taller than ever. Meanwhile, Allie continues to maintain the elaborate charade with Will and Ben. During a basketball game Jamal attends, Ben casually mentions that his birthday's coming up, and he wants a race car cake. Allie promises to make it happen, playing the mom role to perfection. After the game, Joe tells Nick that he's leaning towards signing with Summit. The act worked, for now. The next day, Jamal's father invites Allie and her family to a double-date dinner with Mary and her fiancé, James. Allie's reluctant, but agrees. Over dinner, she reads James's mind, and it's full of lustful thoughts about the waitress. Without hesitation, she knees him under the table, hard. He yelps, blaming it on an accident, but her suspicion about men only grows. However, Will's inner thoughts during the evening surprise her. They're sweet, genuinely loving. He admires her. No toxicity, no ego. That night, they go back to his place, and for the first time, she lets go of control. The intimacy is real, and for the first time, he feels seen too. Things are finally starting to fall into place, but then a bombshell drops. During a company press event, Jamal unexpectedly announces that he's going to China, taking his career overseas. Everyone's blindsided, and it turns out the deal was orchestrated by Etta, a former Summit colleague who jumped ship to a rival agency. Nick blames Allie for losing the client and explodes on her. In his office, Nick tells her he would have fired her long ago, if not for fears of sexist or racial backlash. Allie is stunned, deeply hurt. She dares him to fire her now, telling him that if he does, All her clients will walk with her. She storms out. Outside, she runs into Will and Ben. And here's the truth. He had no idea she used him and his son for a business deal. He's devastated. She tries to explain, but he's heartbroken. She watches them leave, realizing how much she's lost. With her life spinning out of control, Allie crashes Mary's wedding reception, drunk, reckless, desperate. As James begins reading his vows, Allie hears his thoughts again. This time, he's fantasizing about Mary's cousin, Gabby. Allie interrupts the ceremony and blurts it out. Chaos erupts. James denies it, but Gabby, ashamed, admits it's true. Sierra turns on Allie, calling her bitter and jealous, but Allie isn't done. She outs Sierra's husband too, revealing his secret affair with another man. It's a double detonation of truth and everything collapses. A fight breaks out among the bridesmaids. In the chaos, Allie is hit on the head with a flower vase and passes out cold. She wakes up in the hospital again. The same doctor from before is there, but this time, she can't hear his thoughts. He tells her he's working on his addiction recovery and gently implies maybe she needs to face some truths of her own. No one has come to visit her. Not her friends, not her colleagues. She's burned every bridge. Back at work, she apologizes to Brandon. She admits he has all the talent to be an agent and that she held him back because she didn't want to lose his support. He forgives her. Their dynamic finally becomes one of mutual respect, not hierarchy. And then it hits her. She never needed to hear everyone's thoughts. She needed to listen to their hearts. Allie rushes to a local park and finds Jamal shooting hoops alone. She joins him. They talk, laugh, and she tells him what she should have said from the start. Not the pitch, not the business lingo, just truth. She tells him to follow his heart. He thanks her. Later, Allie visits her friends and apologizes one by one. They forgive her, but only if she commits to Margarita Mondays. Every week, no excuses. Friendship, after all, needs maintenance. Time passes. Allie's new clarity pays off. Jamal signs with the Atlanta Rogues. He didn't go to China. He followed his heart. And more than that, he wants Allie as his agent. The next day, Jamal joins a company meeting and drops a second bombshell. He's investing in a new agency, Allie's. He's backing her to go independent. She accepts and announces that she's leaving Summit, taking her clients and Brandon with her. He'll be her first official agent hire. Allie's final stop is Will's house. It's Ben's birthday. She brings the race car cake. Will is wary, but she apologizes, not with excuses, but with sincerity. She's no longer trying to manipulate anything. She just wants a second chance. Ben looks up at her and grins. Will smiles. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Stick around for more cinematic recaps right here on Plot Recap.